Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Vulgar the Observer, and I thought I'd show you another one of my drawing videos. It's been a while. I used to do videos like this, and I've been doing a lot of lore videos where I talk about finished artworks. Well, I talk about the lore accompanied with finished artworks, and it looks good and sounds good, right? But man, those videos just take a bit long to produce, and I think I'd be able to dish out more videos if I also include videos of me drawing. And recently I have been watching videos, or more like listening to videos by Rin Spirit. I will link her channel in the description below. She does a lot of these videos where she shows you what she's drawing, and it can take a long time, like an hour, which I also really like. She would talk over like the videos of herself drawing, and I don't know, something about videos like that, when I listen to that in the background, it helps me finish my own work. Like what would normally take three days of just split up work, like big work, it would be finished in maybe a day and a half if I just listen to sounds of people drawing, or even if they only talk like 5 minutes in a total of like an hour, like the sounds of just like drawing tools being used in the background. It just helps me finish my work much faster. I just really like those kinds of things, even when she doesn't talk at all. And since I like those kinds of videos, I thought I would do those too. I mean, it would be nice to be known as like an art channel instead of just lore, because I think if I'm thinking about balance, then if I get a lot of people, and I might be talking about you, and let me know in the comments if I'm talking about you, I might get a lot of people as an audience, like members of the audience who are into lore, like fantasy stories, which is great because that's what I do. But if I do that a lot, then the occasional art videos might seem a bit strange, like unexpected maybe, like it's not the kind of thing you would be waiting for. Like if you've been watching 5 or 6 videos of just lore, like back to back, like binge watching, and then all of a sudden you get recommended an art video, then you might not necessarily be into art, right? Like you might be into stories but not art. But I think if I include more art, the art gang would still be cool with lore videos, because they are the type that like these kinds of things anyway. Because I'm that kind of type. Like I like art, mainly art, but when other channels, when they include lore, even if it's vague, like it's only suggested, like they don't talk about it much, it really interests me. Like it, all of a sudden, I would pay more attention if my favorite art YouTuber would talk about lore, even if it's only a little bit. And a good example of that would be, I'm gonna mention another channel called Grady Frederick. He does a lot of art videos, and he has his own IP. I think it's called Black Shore. And what he does is, occasionally, he would talk about what would be going on in the scene that he is drawing, but he won't really go into all that much detail. Like a lot of it is still vague, so it leaves a lot of room for interpretation in the eyes of the viewer, which is cool, you know, like I really like it. And I'm trying to do at least that for my channel. And if you don't know Grady Frederick, by the way, you should check out his channel. I'll link it down in the description also, together with Rin Spirit. And if you don't simply look at art, I think you will in this case. Like if you are the type to just listen to people talking in the background while you work, it's fine to listen to Grady Frederick, but I think this time you would look at his videos because his art is good. He is a good artist. Heavily inspired by him, by the way. I've been doing some of the things that he's doing, like what he does with going from black and white to color. I've been doing that. Like I used to hate using that approach, you know, like just going from black and white to color. But I started doing it about last year because I saw I saw a bunch of his videos where he just goes from black and white to color, and it's so effective looking, and I thought I'd give it a shot. And it took like quite a bit of tweaking for a while. Like it took me a while of just suffering through the learning, and it looked like shit the entire time. But the moment I got it looking right, it looked perfect. You know what I mean? Like if it's not one of those types of things where if I just kept on doing it, it will slowly get better and better, and eventually I would end up with like a perfect workflow. No, it's one of those things, gradient maps, or just simply manually going in with like overlays and multiplies and color layers on a black and white layer. If you go from that black and white phase to color, during learning it, at least for me, it always looked like shit. It looked so bad. But then the moment I knew how to make it look good, not perfect, you know, not beautiful, just simply good, it ended up looking fantastic. And I've been using that method a lot these days. And what it has allowed me to do, which is what I'm doing in this drawing, by the way, and what it has allowed me to do is it has allowed me to experiment with different colors and I guess you can call it tone, you know, lights and darks, because lights can easily turn into darks if you're using gradient maps. But yeah, it has allowed me to experiment with different ways I can have my scenes to look. And I can end up very quickly from a black and white painting, end up with like 5 or 6 different variations that I think would look solid, and all I have to do is just pick one and then go from there. Like it doesn't have to look perfect from the moment you hit that gradient map button, you know, and you choose the right set of colors to apply the colors onto the black and white thingy. Like it doesn't have to look perfect from that moment, but it just has to look decent enough, because the real work comes after applying that basic color thingy onto a black and white painting. Like you can do so much more from that moment on. Like you can paint over it, you can add more things even. It would just make it look good. And that's what I'm doing with this painting. In the beginning, I already made like a line art for this one, what looks like an underground interior looking place. I won't really go into lore now, you know, for these kinds of videos. I'll talk about lore for my paintings in my actual lore videos. So I'm just talking about art stuff now. Technicalities and whatnot. Stuff I'm struggling with, stuff that I learned, stuff that you might want to know if you are an artist and if you're learning. But yeah, I started with like a line art painting, and I actually found the courage to draw this line art looking thing, because I made a set of 3 line art drawings for a client of mine. She runs a D&D campaign, and not to brag, but I thought that I think I did a good job doing those 3 drawings for her, and I was like, maybe I should do this for myself. Like, I haven't actually made just line art drawings of environments before for myself. I've made a line art of characters and monsters, but never environments, and I never thought it would actually look good, you know, just black and white lines of an environment. And then somebody made me do it. A client of mine asked me to do it, and I did it, and I just thought, wow, actually line art environments look good. So I figured I would make one just for myself, and that's what I did. And I thought it would be a shame for me to just leave it at that, you know, because I was feeling something from looking at that one line art drawing I did of this one underground looking interior place. So I decided to turn it into a painting, and I went from line art to black and white. I colored it, I blocked in all the basic flats, all the flats of all the basic shapes. I blocked it in, and then I shaded it with just black and white. Different shades of black and white, you know, going from white all the way to black. With lots of different grays in between, of course. And I started playing some more with it, painting over it, moving some stuff, adding some stuff, removing some stuff. And actually the phase where I went from line art to black and white and finally using that gradient map feature, that was like in the beginning 15% only. From then on, I just kept on playing it with actually painting in the colors by hand, and which is what you're looking at right now. And I think I could have done much better. I guess it's just lack of experience. I don't think this one looks overly professional yet, but that's not really the kind of thing that I'm into anyway. At least for me. I like drawings that look good. Like, it feels good to look at and feels good to draw. Like, I don't really care much for like skill. If somebody made drawings, like, if there is an artist who just sticks with one style of drawing that many people might call inferior or amateurish, I can easily fall in love with it, because I just like art that makes me feel good to look at. And this or in my case, what makes me feel good to draw, because I like using approaches to drawing that ultimately feels good to draw. Like, if I can make art that looks good but isn't fun to do, like photo bashing, I won't do it because it just sucks to do. I feel like I'm gonna burn myself out doing that. So I just stick to drawing in ways that I find comfortable to do. And this is one of them. So the end result doesn't look all that great if you would compare it to the work of other artists who are more professional, but I like it. I like it a lot. And this one figure, this giant figure in the center, I ended up erasing him completely, and because I just didn't like it. At this point, I was already feeling somewhat tortured by the painting because it was taking too long. It was already like 12 hours, and that's the tracked time on Procreate, 12 hours. The real thing could have been like maybe even 20 hours. I don't know, I'm guessing, but the tracked time on Procreate, at this point, it already said 12 hours, and I was like, fuck, like, this is taking too long. I just wish it had finished sooner, but it just bothered me that much, you know, that one lone figure in the center, so I decided to erase him completely and make a new one from scratch. And I think I ended up liking what I ended up with. This brand new one. And I spent way more time drawing this one, this final rendition of this giant figure in the center that's walking towards us. walking towards us. I spent way more time doing that now because I think doing it slow is worth it. I think I could have made do with way less detail, way fewer detail. I could have made him look much more vague and blocky, but I'm not good at doing that yet. So I think I added too much detail to the giant guy in the center. So compared to everything else in the painting, he looks a bit like he stands out too much because he is so detailed, whereas everything else is not so detailed. But whatever. I'll just take what I can get right now because it's not horrible, it's just okay. And okay is good, you know? And I like to think that my version of okay is good enough for everybody else who are not artists. That might be that might be an easy way out, running from what I could have been. But yeah, I think it looks okay enough, this giant guy now. And what do you think? Do you think it looks cool? And what I like to do is I like to show my paintings to people who couldn't care less about art. And I have a bunch of people in my life that I do that to. And if they can kind of tell what it is they're looking at in the first 10 seconds, then I think I would have succeeded. And in this case, I showed it to someone and they were able to tell what it is they're looking at in the first 10 seconds. I showed it to 2 people actually, and I think I didn't fail. Yeah, I like it. It looks, well, hopefully this is what it makes you think and feel, but it looks like it's underground and there are sources of light, and since they're warm looking and everybody looks all medieval, then the sources of light are probably fire, like I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but braziers, those baskets, those metallic giant baskets, or like buckets where fire is always burning to illuminate the surroundings. Yeah, it could be those, or it could be actual bonfires. But there's also lots of candles everywhere, you can see. But even though there's sources of light, sources of warmth, the place still looks quite cold, especially where the light isn't touching. And I wanted to feel that way. Like if you were to look at all the places that are dark in this painting, it's got different shades of blue and green, and it makes it look quite cold. Like even though there's a fire making the place all bright, this place looks quite cold still, especially by the presence of this giant armored figure in the center. He's wearing all metal, and aside from the parts of him that illuminated by the fire, like the light of the fire, he still looks quite cold. And even he's equipping this perseverant lantern on his chest, this giant red thing that you're looking at. Even though it's red, it's not like a warm shade of red, it's like a cold shade of red. And the chains hanging from the ceiling and the giant blades that are stuck to the ceiling on top also helps make this whole thing look cold, like warm looking but still cold. Anyway, I think that would be enough for this video. Thank you very much for listening. If you're listening to this while you're working, I hope you got your work done, because that's what I like to do when I listen to these types of videos. I just listen to them while I get my work done. Sometimes the same 20-minute, 1 hour long videos I will listen to like 2 times, because I just need to get the work done, so I have to listen to the whole thing again. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, If you want to see my art, you can check out my portfolio. Well, first of all, there's lots of links in the description you can look at, but I'll just run you through them all. If you want to look at my art, you can check out my portfolio. It's the one that says ArtStation. I have free brushes and paid ones that you can download on my Gumroad store. You can commission me on VGen. I think that's it. Yeah. Comment below, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you again in the next video. Bye bye.